stop trying to quit. Good evening. Thanks for coming down here this evening. Welcome. It's our Logy Bay Groovers spoken word night. So I just like to say a couple things. If you're here for the first time tonight, the way it works is there's a list. Sign up on it, and you'll have your turn to say a few words. We have to announce a prize tonight, though. Our friend Andrew Lohy has won this prize. Congrats, we'll get it off to you appropriately amount of time, appropriate amount of mail. So, with further ado, I think I'd like to get the first person off the list, and we'll get this thing going.
Hey everyone, my first time here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for running this. It's it's an honor to finally get my chance to do this. So yeah. All right, here we go. Bubbles come, bubbles go. Sweet and sticky, substance flows. Fingers extend and wrap around a cool beverage that I have found. Life is like a glass of Pepsi. Drink it while it's still cold. And if it spills and dries, don't cry. Get soap and water and pour yourself another pour yourself another glass. Thank you. Whoa.
Yeah, my name is Terry. This is a new one. Wished for my old glass. I had no time from you. See, taken from my arms of my mother on the last day, it was not much. Between me and you, these were the island, and I was a slayer. To go across was one thing, but that was it. On that Sunday when I was left, gray and raining, that was all. Windows. I had a lot of doors in my house. I had a lot of time to go up and down the stairs, but I didn't have a lot of time for that day. Was being left alone on the bus, but I had a lot of time to sit on that bus because I didn't know how to get off. It was a good. See, we had a lot of time back in those days to get on the bus, but I needed to go to school. I had to walk. I had to walk every day, actually, because Mom never gave me no ride because she said you take the bus, but I was never taught that. No. So, car to car, I will hop for sure, but no more. I got no time for this man. I'd have appointments to make it to. I have a blessing. At least that's what they told me. When I was a youngster, a lot of people did say that I had a blessing. That's what they told me. So I didn't know what this was. No one would tell me. And I had a blessing. Flash forward to the island in the bus again. Where my hands were sweaty and where was my suspension? Where was my all the left field dimension? I need a subconscious mention for all of my attention. God willing, don't pension. There was a breeze, a big breeze that day, and the windows you can't put up. The windows you can't put up on the bus.
Buzzing. Buzzing was the first thing I heard that morning. A buzzing sound. It was attracted down. It was downstairs. Went downstairs. All the couches covered in hairs. I also went down to the cupboards. Cupboards, there was no boards. There was holes. Holes. Big enough for moles. But I went up there and I found there was a fridge with the buzz. I unplugged the fridge. I had to unplug it. Couldn't get through a second more of my life with that thing going. But best thing about it, food was always ready to go. So I stopped buying frozen food. It was pretty easy. I just had to stop buying it. And sure enough, it was no longer an issue. No more buzz. Thanks.
Hey guys, it's my second time up here. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's still pretty nervous about this, but here's part 2. Okay. Pop. Sorry. Oh, sneeze. Sorry. Sorry guys, this feels, it's pretty intense to finally share these kinds of feelings that kind of had bottled up, and I'm finally dropping them on you like a truth bomb, and yeah, it's overwhelming. Yeah. Pop.
Colors are bright. Bright is basically light, and you need light. Light gets you through dark places. So, dark places. What are those? Dark places could be a cave, a closet. It could be the Arctic in the wintertime. Time. What is time? Time. Well, I think we're experiencing it right now. What is now? Now is something that is just rolling on by. Now, by is something that you can get to. And I like getting places. Getting places is really good. I like to get good. Good is the opposite of bad, and bad makes me mad. Mad is non-existent.
I like that one. Sorry about earlier. Pop. Peel. I peer inside. Give it a tilt. And out they slide. Salty morsels. Perfectly shaped. Identical curves. Like an alien landscape. Life is like a can of Pringles. Once you pop, you keep on going. This isn't a game. This is your life. When you wake up each day, you need to make a list of priorities and only do what's important to you. Never confuse learning with doing, and never confuse doing with finishing. Can I say a quick message? It's like an advertisement kind of thing. If you guys are ready to crush it, audience here or online, if you're ready to crush it at life and love, sign up to my new newsletter at markross.com. Thank you.
It is Rex. It has a couple just quick haikus. Mustard, bail, lemonade. Cross the pond, cross the stage. Dusted, must. Try my lemonade. Poison ivy, crust. Buyer beware, unlust, travel lightly, bus. Comrade farm the well. Take more than you can spell. Leave less, none. Texas, put it on. The map is not so long. 4 color fill. That's it.
Britches, tongues, cheeks, oils, lentils, tofu. I looked to my dad, Goku, Vegeta, Sailor Moon, my mom, Hello Kitty. It was my friend. I didn't have a lot of those, but I did have my wits. Never called quits. And I kept going. Video and Arcade Top 10, Video and Arcade 420. I get an up and down on the ladder, but I stayed steady. Also, I tried potatoes once or twice. Zucchini wasn't my thing, but I gave it a ring. I also grew it for a couple summers out west, but it didn't last too long. I hit the bong. But after the bong, I saw a clear path to what I needed. What I needed was an adult coloring book. Michael's had buy one, get one free. So I got two. Two became four. And I had one for each season. I spent a full year on those books. I never got back anything, only the joy from coloring.
Yeah, my name's John. I was here last week, month, or yeah. Terry Medic, filthy muscled penetration, behind closed doors, perception, overwhelming of and become terrific patterns inside of it. Tongs for the fire, island in a lake, sea in an island, lake in the few. Your ass is mine. Always online, semester minister, frustrated finisher for the handhold diminisher. Stay lifted, punk, trunk, drunk, whelming, item top shelving, take it from me, melding. Hot panoramas on top of dwelling. Sit for a moment, whisper the eyes. For not another mister composed of lies, heft for not wish he was left, party started, no control. Shot put grenade of courage, 1 weekend short of the purge, only so much left. Quest is suffering so much more than death. Pace maker.
Mechanics, electrical mechanics. Electrical mechanics and ceramics brought me the dynamics of what it took to handle the Industrial Revolution, which was my career life. After I dabbled in caffeine for centuries, I figured out exactly what I needed to know. I can't be that guy anymore. It's killing me.
What is it not on an old summer day that I had been seen down the road on one? Is he gay? For you, don't look at me. It's only tree day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You gotta take the dog outside, even when it's raining, even when it's windy, that's okay. It's a big city. Squeak, 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 squeak on the bell. I used to ride my bike to school, but no one else could tell that I was the only one who parked it in the woods, because I knew about the tree with the lock in it. There was one tree with a lock in it, and you could put your bike there if you wanted to. If you wanted to go in for a minute, you got kicked out of school for sniffing glue out back behind with Bartholomew. What can you do? What can you do? So on another one, you had to leave it out in the sun for about 4 minutes, but I didn't have enough time to finish, so I had to get quick and improvise. I had to keep my thighs closed because I was about to explode with a giant wish. A giant wish. So we had 100 UV light bulbs, and we put them together on the stove, and we did the sun in about 2 minutes, what you could do in 4, and believe me, we were ready to. And walked in was Adam. And his cabin bussin'. Bigger than the one I'd seen at Aladdin's. Even bigger than the one that I'd seen at Craig's. But not as big as the one down at Meg's, of course. Because I had no force upon my old-fashioned horse. My carriage was runny, my wheels were wooden, and I was listening to Scunny, and that was okay because, like I said, it was the tree day up ahead. And where would you go? Take it from there. There is no snow on a Monday in June, but there might be some on a Tuesday in the room. So, what's the mustard? Cut it with courage, and you could not be trusted. But if you want a ketchup, then your mayo is stuffed. There's a whole lot of terrible creatures lurking inside the container. That's a no-brainer. That's a no. I got my lemon juice. I got my hearse. So, tall. Thanks.
Ducks. Ducks give out the best fucks. And you'd have to know where to get those. Because ducks aren't everywhere, right? You gotta go looking for ducks. Have you ever been on a real duck hunt where you're looking for the ducks? Now you gotta look for them, and if you don't, what are you even doing? But anyways, the president called and he wanted to have a bottle of President's Choice, and we wanted the choice ready. And so we actually got the choice ordered from a catalog, and the catalog was outdated by 6 months, so we had to really improvise. So the president of the company didn't end up getting his exact order, but what he did get was Ariana Grande, an Aventi caramel macchiato.
This one's more of like just like a sound poem, you know. Smack, crack, chack a whack. I listen to Chilliwack out back. Smoke crack. My best friend Neil. Smack, 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 smack. Gun blast. Again out back. Track lack. J-lack. J-lack. Tony Angelo. Snow, 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 snow. More darts than a man could know. More hearts than a fan could show. Smiling, 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 smiling. There's no man left on the island. Get voted off. Vote or die, 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 vote or die.
Hollywood nights. Hollywood nights. Dark, warm, but enough light that you can show you which road you want to go to. But Hollywood nights have a certain glamour that you get enamored with. enamorment, and the endearment, and the entrapment within the glamour of in Hollywood Nights is sincere, but also malnourished. It's indecisive. It's also significant. It has a purpose. It has a indictment. It's unclear. It's kind of recorded right now, but it's going to be released later. It's going to be held on contempt for about 62, maybe 89. Who knows? But what we have right now is a real circle of protection, but we don't know how big the circle goes, what radius we can expect. We know that there's angles at work here, but we do have a good forecast of notion and also arrangements. Arrangements that are in works, radio works, body works, Max Works, Iron Works. The Works is a great pizza. I recommend it.
Guys, thanks for having me here again. It's only my third time coming up. I guess I'm gaining a little bit of confidence. Yeah, thanks a lot for the support tonight. All right, here we go. This one might get a little bit political. I hope that's okay. You guys okay if I drop a few truth bombs here on stage?
Truth away.
All right. Trump, Osama, Barack Obama. Give me a break. This is manufactured drama. While your eyes are peeled to the TV, CNN, Fox News, CBC, down falls another tree. And was anyone around to hear it? Wake up from your sleep. You're just another sheep. While your eyes are peeled to your computer, Facebook, Twitter, you're an internet user. You've become another loser.
Okay, this is a bit from my book. The book I'm working on now. I always like to enter there. You can walk. You can go for a long time in there without anyone asking you what anything you need to do. But look around on the shelf. There's a lot of it. You can find anything you need in there, and that's part of the reason why Mr. Templeman did like it. He went there every Sunday, every Monday too, going around and guiding tours of the shelves and the things that were new. He had a lot of old items available as well. It was very, very, very overwhelming for him sometimes. And then he did have to patch up his ways and move on. But that wasn't from then on. He did see many, many, many changes. He felt very nice about these changes, but what's even better is he felt worse. There was more cars than before, and even more pedestrians. He had a problem with the equestrian in the Olympics. There was a problem with the NTV. He had a problem with the CBC. He had a problem with the OCM. He had a problem with the Avalon Mall and the Metro bus, and a problem with Mary Brown's, and a problem with nearly every business, nearly every organization. But he didn't have a problem with Fiddler. He didn't have one problem at all until it closed down. Then his problems were no longer small, my friends. He went on the rampage and he went on the bends. After the Fiddler was closed and he shook his fist, he went down the street absolutely livid. But it's cool because there was a new liquor store and he went in and he picked up a few things. He went behind the Mile 1 Stadium and drank his Max Ice begrudgingly. Said, I curse the day they ever shut that damn place down. For fuck's sakes, I should have been enough to keep it open myself, let alone all the other boys. Where are we going to go to now? But then he sees his best friend, Ed, coming down. Ed, get the fuck over here. Fiddlers is gone. Yeah, but I know. What are we going to do about it? Well, we're on to 3 cheers now. What? We're on to 3 cheers now. Can't have 3 cheers. What? We're on to 3 cheers now. For the love of fuck, I don't know what that means by. So you're celebrating the Fiddler be gone? No, we on the 3 cheers now. Okay. So he just followed Ed down the street, and they on the 3 cheers now. Beautiful VLTs, lots of amenities, good view, great deck. Bathrooms are clean. Bartender's pretty good looking. What else could he need? Mr. Templeman takes his shoes off in the club. Mr. Templeman takes his pants off in the club. Mr. Templeman always wears the pants with the zippers, just in case he needs to take them off and expose his feet. And Mr. Templeman's slippers, he wears them all day, and his feet are hairy, and it causes him some sweat problems, but that's not the main thing. He has to go to the health science about it every few months. Every few months is a few months too much, actually, in Mr. Templeman's eyes. So on the last day, he was after going to Coastal Marine, and he went to the hospital on a Skidoo. A brand new Skidoo, mind you, but a brand new Skidoo. They kicked him out of the parking lot for not being on the proper kind of vehicle. And he had a squeal, he had a squelch. He had an overwhelming, incapacitating word in his mouth. He said, "Get the hell over here, you little man. Why do you kick me out of here? Why? Sir, you can't drive your rig in here like this. This is a hospital, please. You might hit all the kids. You might hit the air pollution. You might hit the police officers. Sir, it's not your fault. It's the policy, sir. Could you please?" Mr. Templeman saw nothing. He saw nothing of it. He ran him over with his Skidoo. And he went as fast as he could, and then right across the parking lot. He didn't give a fuck. He'd been in there before. Mr. Templeman was ready to even it. Rev that engine once or twice as fast as he could possibly go, but that's the best thing. Someone was going in a wheelchair, real slow. They had the door open, held open by Pop and Mother. So Mr. Templeman gave her, like no other. His Skidoo flew right in through the emerge, and he ran over a few boys and some little girls. But that's not the main thing. When he kept on skidding, went all the way to the front desk, and he kept winning. Got 100 bodies in the hospital that day, but that was okay because they were in the hospital. They could be saved. The doctor had a lot of work, but he got paid well. And it was a pretty good day as far as everyone else could tell in there. So on the top floor in 5th, they heard a little racket, but that was it. And I heard down in the basement, they couldn't even be tasted. So we had to pass on our taser for 2 minutes, and we had to fire a gun to be completely diminished. But there it was again, decimated right in front of his friends. Mr. Templeman arrested by the RNC. He couldn't believe it. They put him away for free.
Fish and chips and broken hips, swollen lips and pants with rips. I took a few trips higher and lower. I also forgot a whole summer with no mower. I went to the Lower East Side and I had a bad time and I cried. And then I got into my rig and I went downtown and borrowed a pig. Me and the pig, we took a tour of town. We went down to Boring Park and looked all around. Went round the bay up to Cuckle's Cove. We also had a boil up in the woods. We were having a good time. Also, me and the pig, we decided that we had to have a few friends over, so we invited over a few other outside people. They came, they saw, and they brought us a draw. And we looked over the rocks, and we gazed out with awe. But after the second draw was lit to a roach, and the day became as its end and approach, me and the pig had to part our ways. But we had to look back and say, at the end of the day, who the fuck was Matt Mays?
It's kind of weird, but like, okay, you've seen The Matrix. This is like, okay, if they added the scene kind of like in the fourth Matrix, it's like Neo talking to his own reflection after he's found out he's the one, but he's been reborn as a person again. You know what I mean? Hey. What? It can't be. It is. It can't. It is. I'm you. What? I'm you. No. No. I'm you. Look into my eyes. Things aren't looking good. What? You're not gonna make it, Neo. What? You're not gonna make it. How can you say that? We've gone so long. As far as we have. Everything falling around us. And you could say that. What? You're not gonna make it, Neo. What?
This is just a little, it's really just a collection of ideas, but I hope you think it's cool. It was a rough night. The boat was ready to capsize. I was on my own. It was September 19th, 2011. I was in the Indian Ocean on a schooner that missed coast of South Africa. I was highly off course, and I was high. I got some reefer from the local boys at the last port, but it was the last thing I had at my disposal. We were in a severe southern hurricane. The boys were all sick, the ones that were on the boat with me. There's only 2 of them left now. We also had not much food left. We had maize and bannock and a few sacks of rice. We also had a few chickens in the basement, but we were trying to use those for better reasons. We were trying to make way to the Aval headquarters of southern China, but we couldn't get there by sea, so we had to get there by sea a certain way, and we were going to get en route for another place. We're not going to make it bloody there now. We've been there for quite some time in the sea. It was dull, we had no wind, and then all of a sudden it came, and it didn't stop. And now it looks like it might be the end of this voyage. But I'm writing to you now, my dear wife. Raise our children, send them to the West, let them experience what it's like to be American. Don't let them know what their father was doing, sailing around with fools in the ocean, trying to find apple. Trying to find where do they make these Apple phones and these iPods? What are the source of minerals? We must know. But anyways, I must go back and face my maker.
It's a reading from the journal of Nicholas Cresswell. We were down to boiled socks and old bear skins. Only the look on the porter's face gave us any bit of hope. We had another 100 miles to trek before the next camp, and the snow was deeper than our boots. None of the men had seen anything like this before. Some of the largest beasts any could imagine. Caves, holes that could swallow a man alive. We'd already lost Bradley and Daniels. Who was next? Some of our men managed to scout up ahead and find a path traveled by some of the other hunters in the area. We could only hope but to be captured by one of them and taken alive. Wasn't a lot to eat, as we said, but we did find our spirits to be quite jovial with the flavors of the sap from the frozen northern trees. It was quite the delight of all the men when we would boil this up on the fireplace, adding just a pinch of our bear skin at the end to give it the flavor of meat without using too much of our supply. We hoped we could make it all the way, but with 100 miles to go and our strength fading fast, we weren't sure. If not for that sap tea, I'd say all the men would have died.
Candy and Pepsi, Rosie and Nepsy. I looked up to Wayne Gretzky, but I could not get down to what befaced me. As a child, I reached for the stars. I listened to the influences that grew up to be Bruno Mars. I listened to the sound of music once upon a time, but then I gave up on words that began to rhyme. When I got to Christmas each year, I thought about it long and hard. Why did I have to get this far to just have this feeling once? Why couldn't I feel like this every day of the year? I mean, I didn't think why. I mean, to every other day could be any other, basically any other way, and another way, and this is just another time. But Anyways, I thought long and hard, and I just gave up. But then I got the influence to go back 10 years later. And when I approached the quarrel and the old quandary, I looked up and I thought, Eureka! You know, it was just there in front of me this whole time. It was the true meaning of life was basically to cut with a knife. And to make sure when you cut perfectly straight lines. Thank you for coming here this evening. We had a lot on the list. We had to give out that prize, and we really appreciate the time that Craig and the guys here had for us. We just wanted to say, I mean, anytime you have something to say, write it down, come back and have your name on the list and do it all again. Thanks.